Welcome back, everybody. I am the Pixel Voyager, and today we're blasting off for a very interesting episode 26 of our modded Terraria series. So, getting started, we'll go ahead and get right to it. OBS did some funky things with settings when I went out to record this episode. And for some reason, even though I had my voiceover, what do they call, track split, it didn't actually export that track. So this is my very first effort at making a recording of post commentary. So bear with me, it's going to be a little funky, it's going to be a little awkward. But we're getting started today in this new mushroom housing that I've built. Needed room for some more NPCs, as is tradition. And from there, we needed a spot for the Archmage. You just saw me checking out his inventory. And our new guy here, the Truffle. The Truffle doesn't sell much right now, but as we progress, he will add to his inventory pretty regularly. So we needed some spaces for them, and a couple spare houses over here with our little mushroom on the left. But not anything too fancy to get into other than that. Today, our first goal and foremost is Cosnyx, I think it's called, the Beholder. Let me expand this real quick and read it properly. Yeah, Cosnyx, the Beholder. He is spawned in the underworld using these items here. You see me scrolling over. Pretty inexpensive to craft those summons, so I went ahead and crafted several of them just in case, if cryogen's any indication. You know, I could expect him to take several tries. This particular shot, falling down the underworld tube there, I found a new enemy I hadn't seen before. And he will be very important later. That is a cryo slime, and the cryo slime drops some of the cryogen ore, which is something that was dropped into the world when we defeated cryogen. So other than that, we've run off to the bridge, and we're going to use our void lens, and we're going to summon up old Cosnyx here. So this was a very interesting fight. You see he's got these giant laser blasts. He'll fire at regular intervals. They're pretty easy to avoid. So we're doing pretty much the same strategy you would expect. We hit him with the Ichor, and we hit him with our Duster a little bit. So far, he has been very easy. No issues there. No big surprises. A big burst attack that we'd have to be very mindful to dodge out of the way of. But overall, we're not mad about it. This is going pretty well. He's actually down pretty quickly. Now, I am thoroughly expecting, at this point, to run into a very nasty Phase 2, which should be coming up right about now. Well, I thought 50% would be the threshold, but it's coming up pretty soon here. You'll know. There it is. So Phase 2 hits, and he just seems to be moving a little bit faster, shooting a little bit more frequently. But there's the trick to Phase 2. He summons a giant wall of lava, and it chases after you, and it almost catches me. Barely managed to get out of the way of that one. Take a lot of damage for no good reason. But with that, he's dead. So our very first attempt, I promise, I didn't edit out a bunch of fails or anything. This was actually the first attempt. So very quick, very simple. I liked to see it. After cryogen, that was a nice little morale boost for us. And I think the big secret to getting this guy first try and with relatively little difficulty was all the groundwork we laid right before we went into hard mode. This long bridge of open underworld, the Hell Bridge, where I have free mobility, I can jump around, I can run away, I can do whatever I need. Made a big difference in taking him out pretty quickly and pretty easily. So here, you'll see me pick up a Guide Voodoo Doll, a lucky drop, and I still need that Sorcerer's Emblem. So, no cuts, we're not going to waste any time, I'm just going to toss this in. With the new weapons I've gotten from Cryogen, this Icicle Trident should make pretty quick work of him, so I figured we would just go ahead and take a shot. So, pretty straightforward. You see all of the Hungries are already pretty much dealt with. And there we go. Nice and easy. So we'll grab his treasure bag, and of course we'll open that first thing. We're hoping for that Sorcerer's Emblem as soon as we clear that out. And guess what? Still nothing. Just about every other emblem type, but not the one we were looking for. So skipping ahead a pretty good ways, we've cleared out the inventory and everything. And now I'm going to go check out what we can do with these cryonic bars. These are the ores that I picked up from the little slime earlier. So he dropped enough for us to get a couple of bars, which I don't figure I can do anything with. But the guide can tell us what we can do with it. And look what we find. The Starlight Wings are not the highlight here. Wait for it. Yeah, we're checking the stats, and you'll see the frozen wings we have are better. But this is the star of the show. We have this Daedalus armor, and it is basically a direct upgrade to what we had. So that's going to be the goal for the next time. We definitely want to grab some of that. So that'll be the objective, is we're going to head back underground, and we're going to try and mine up a bit of that. You see me here, I'm checking out a new weapon, the Shade Crystal Barrage. It's a direct upgrade to the Crystal Storm. I haven't used a ton, but with an upgrade, you never know. Maybe it'll be worth it. So here I'm spending the money I got from Cosnyx to buy an accessory from the Archmage. Mostly looking for the maximum mana increase. The 50 there is very good, reduces mana usage, and as I take more damage, it will increase my life regen. So very, very good. It also has one other special effect that we'll talk about later. The other thing I'll address, the little floating Cosnyx you see over my head. It's a drop I got from the boss. It summons a big summon, but a tiny Cosnyx. It takes up 2 summon slots, interestingly enough. So that's fun. 50 damage, I think it is. In the meantime, I've gotten a little distracted, a little sidetracked. I look at my list here, and I notice that I have some hard mode stuff that I hadn't done yet. Namely, the Starscouter. Which is you use the summon up in the sky to summon it. So I figured, under the circumstances, I would just take care of that. Just knock that out real quick, because it's on the checklist. And of all the other stuff that I could go knock out really quickly, this is the only one with a reliable spawn. So I had a little bit of buff time left over from the last time I used some potions. So I hopped up to an island real quick and summoned. So this guy, I'll probably just let you watch the fight, but he's no big deal. He deals a lot more damage than I would have expected from a pretty hard mode enemy, especially with, all the hard mode armor and everything. But in the end, he only has about 10,000 health, and he'll go down pretty quickly. Looking at my preview window here while I'm doing my recording, I should also point out, if you notice, the video looks a little bit sharper. It's because of those OBS setting tweaks. I don't know what caused all that to happen. It reconfigured itself something. I don't know. But I think I've got it all fixed now. But the image quality here is a lot sharper than the previous recordings. Of course, that's nice. The drawback is the file size for this episode is a little over double what I would normally expect. So it would take a lot more hard drive management, but it is a better picture. So I'm debating that. 27 hits you may see back to the original video quality. For this game, I don't think it makes a big difference. But you saw us take out Starscouter there. Grab some Spelunker potions from the house, and now we're heading back underground. We're going to try and grab some of this cryonic ore. Luckily, I hit the Spelunker potion right on top of where one of these things lived, but my pickaxe here, or drill, I guess, actually can't mine it. It is not strong enough. So at this point, I would have a couple of options to deal with that. I could, A, go collect the adamantite, because that's the only other upgrade I would have between what I have and what this needs. Or I could lurk around underground and try to find some more of those slimes. The little slime I found at the very beginning of the episode winds up being very fortuitous because it gives me the information I need to know that this is an option. Otherwise, I could have wasted a lot of time farming for some adamantite. So this is good news. They drop a pretty good amount, so it wouldn't take too many to kill just to pick up the pick. And then once I got the pick, it's pretty straightforward to go get the rest. But interrupted very, very suddenly with this message in the bottom left: pirates are approaching from the west. So I got right into the pirates here. They are much like the Goblin invasion. They just kind of spawn randomly, and they will attack you while you're at your base, and you got to deal with them. The trick is these guys are way more dangerous than what you'd get out of a Goblin invasion. So I was coming into this thoroughly expecting to A, lose all of my NPCs, or B, die many, many times myself. And I don't even know why I used the word or there, because I thoroughly expected it to be and. But you can see this Death Valley Duster does serious, serious work. And the big trick I'm gonna learn is this house is made for cheesing. Because this weapon pierces through walls, which is a very uncommon characteristic in the base game, I can literally just stand on the second story here. All of these enemies just walk, they have very minimal jumping skills, and I can just cheese them from here. Speaking of cheese, this is kind of the main highlight from the pirate invasion. It is the Flying Dutchman. And this is the mini-boss. It's on our checklist, so this is mostly what I was looking out for from the pirates here. And he gets stuck on the corner of my house. So all I have to do is just hide in some corners and again use my wall penetrating spell to take him out. Very quick, very easy. After that, just a little bit of cleanup and we can collect a nice little payday. The pirate invasion does give out quite a bit of cash. So here, after that's over, you'll see me craft my pick. We are ready to go farm at full speed. So here we go. I'll show you a couple things here. Just my first little batch. This is not sped up. That's the actual speed of the pick. And it feels very, very good to be able to pick that fast. And in fact, I'll show you right here, just if I need to get through a wall to get to a cave, that's it. It just goes. And this is not even close. This is, I guess, kind of starting to get into mid-ish hard game, although I haven't actually fought a mechanical boss. This little side cut is a new ore. I had gone underground a little further looking for more ore and gathering some of the crystal shards here. I do need the shards to craft the armor. And this ore that I'm going to pick up is something that I did not recognize. Lodestone chunks, they're called. And they were unfamiliar. Of course, because I'm recording in post, we know, I could go back and watch the video and see these were actually introduced into the world when I defeated Cosnyx. So little pockets seem to have spawned. It's not a lot, but here we are underground. And this is actually the first instance. You see how I'm frozen in the air there? That is the result of the new accessory that I bought off of the Archmage. If you lose all your life, when you get to 0, it will actually lock you in a block of ice and heal you back up to about 100 HP. Didn't do me a lot of good in this case, though. So next up in the adventure, we returned home from death to a goblin army. Just like in pre-hard mode, you'll see me steamroll these guys pretty good. The only catch is in hard mode. Of course, they're a little bit stronger themselves, but there is a new mini-boss that will appear. That is the Goblin Summoner. That's a true mini-boss. It'll have a little bar pop up when it spawns, and we'll just have to deal with it. It's not too threatening, as it turns out. We've scaled up pretty well. So one of the things I continued to go back to in this episode is just kind of how quickly the game will shift back and forth between feeling very weak and feeling very powerful. And this is definitely an episode where I feel very powerful. Only a couple of deaths. I'm not going to blame a hallowed mimic or feel too bad about dying to a hallowed mimic. But other than that, it has been a very, very clean recording session. I really hate that I lost the original audio. I had a very good time with this one. But you're going to do what you're going to do. But yeah, even just from this little talking, 61% through the Goblin army. So you can see it's no issue at all. We'll have a cut here in just a moment, and I'll show off a little bit of the Goblin Summoner. The only difficulty there was really just kind of keeping track of it. It's very mobile, jumps around. So here it is. You can hear me blasting it. I probably could have followed it better if I had any idea where it was in my dust clouds here. But, you know, I'm not going to beat it up when it's doing as much damage as it will. So we'll just chase it around for a little bit. It won't survive for very long. Oh, while we're waiting, the other fun thing with this little Cosnyx summon, you'll see all of my NPCs seem to have a little bit of a greenish glow to them. That's an effect of using that summon. And actually, it highlights enemies in the same way. So even though I like the damage of my little Black Hawk jets a little bit better right now, that effect in and of itself is so useful that I'll ditch the damage. I'm not worried about it. So here we are, crafting our Daedalus breastplates for 19 defense. Our Daedalus hood. This is, of course, the magic. You can see the stats there. More damage, more crit chance, less mana usage, and a good boost of mana as well. So that takes care of that. And we'll look at the numbers. I go from 51 defense with my White Knight set to, with the full Daedalus armor, 56. So an extra 5, that's nearly 10%, right at 10%. But more importantly, that set bonus, more magic damage, and this 10% chance to absorb physical attacks and projectiles when hit, and that absorption heals me for half of the damage. So I'm very excited to see that in use. From here, we're going to craft up our, what was it, the Crystal Shade Barrage. So it's a pretty cool weapon. I use it a little bit. You'll see here in just a moment. Just like the Crystal Storm we were using, but good bit more damage. And mostly, look at that MP usage. It is virtually nothing. So last little thing for the episode from our little highlight reel here. You see me grab a worm. We're going to take all of this new stuff, and we're going to try and see what happens if we fight the Destroyer. This was in no means a serious attempt. This is just kind of a look to see what we're working with. Consider it a preview for 27 because this is probably our next target, and this is probably what we're going to be doing in episode 27. We're going to be tackling this guy with a full arena with all of the heart lanterns and star lanterns and stuff like that we'd need. But you can see already the damage is pretty good, but the guy just has such a big health pool. He's going to be a long slog of a fight. I'm going to need some crowd control for the probes, so I'm already just kind of, this is information gathering more than anything for me. So it doesn't look like he has any new tricks in the mod, but he's just going to be a tough fight. A tough fight, and it's just going to be something that I'm going to have to grind out. Luckily, one of the things you didn't see, there's my revival mechanic at work. One of the things you didn't see was I have the Archmage selling some materials. Those materials have one use, and it is to craft the summoning items for all of these mechanical bosses. I think you've seen them all at this point. You've seen the Twins, you've seen the Destroyer, you've seen Skeleton Prime. Those three are our next big targets. So yeah, that's what we've got to look forward to. In the meantime, I do apologize for the trouble on this episode, but we're going to round things out here. If you enjoy my videos, a like is always appreciated. I know this one was a little weird, but still, if you want to give me a thumbs up, that would make me very happy. Otherwise, if you want to say something in particular, of course, leave a comment below. And if you want to catch more of my content going forward, feel free to hit that subscribe button. As always, we appreciate it and hope you have a wonderful day.